TLDR, I am not dead, still working on this, just very busy with college prep. New dedicated channel for this series with link to the description, and reworks of old episodes are underway. Alright, longer explanation time. After my last episode on the hurricane, 11 months ago, holy moly, a lot of things happened. First and foremost, as you probably realized from the TLDR, I got into college, and promptly most of my free time disappeared along with it, as it tends to do. However, I have not stopped working on this series, though I understand my lack of activity and updates may have made some of you think I died. When I have had time and motivation, a rare combination, to work on this, I have been running into problems over and over again, which have made it hard to continue finding motivation to work on what should be a fun passion project, which is what this started out as. A passion project to teach people history and aviation, because it's cool. It turned into, instead, a depressive slog that made me feel miserable by the end of an editing marathon. For several reasons, such as footage. I had, for the longest time, just been using stuff I find here on YouTube. Accurate period historical footage of planes flying around, of taken at the time archival video. Though, that only worked sometimes. When it came to the hurricane, I ran into a hell of a time trying to find proper and appropriate footage to put on the back, and had to do a lot of deep diving, which took into time, and, unfortunately, cut the quality of the video of what I wanted to do, because I couldn't find anything to put on the back, and I didn't want to settle for just putting still images, or, God forbid, nothing at all. And for the Spitfire, as you probably noticed halfway through when I started talking about variants, I literally gave up. I could not find anything. So, that was one problem. Second problem, music. I had a small feeling this would always be a problem and had even accepted the fact that my episodes would get copyright claimed from the music I used, because I figured, put on some chill music, I'll talk about planes, and then you can just listen to it like a podcast or just watch the pretty historical footage that I found. However, there was a problem I did not anticipate until I took a look over all of the videos and realized something. Being demonetized due to a copyright claim not only makes it so that multi-million-dollar companies steal money away from me just trying to teach people history for free, but it also makes it nigh impossible for people to actually find the videos because the algorithm that YouTube runs on just straight up drops demonetized videos. The only reason The Devastator, my first video, did so well is because the Death of Ase is a public domain song and thus cannot be copyright struck or claimed. One of the two. That was problem number 2. Problem number 3. Scope of the content. This was more of a me issue because I didn't plan this out originally, but I wanted this series to be a simple and straightforward analysis going from origin to design to use and then legacy of various combat and support aircraft throughout the years. However, as I delved into this and got some practical experience making these videos, I realized something halfway through while rewatching the Mustang and Spitfire videos. Outside of a very specific audience that luckily already knows the information, no one really cares about the listing of specific variants for aircraft. At least, not in a video that's supposed to be a generic, easy-to-digest synopsis of said aircraft. For example, in the Mustang video, I listed every variant from Mustang Mark I in the RAF service to the P-51H and even the unrelated F-82 Twin Mustang that only bore the name due to its appearance. I did not realize this at this time, but looking back, it dreadfully hurt the video as it left me with no room, unless I wanted to make it a not 5-minute guide, to talk about the importance of the P-51 in the various theaters of World War II, such as its service in Burma with the 23rd Fighter Group. The successors of the Flying Tigers. Wouldn't that have been something interesting to talk about? So, looking back upon all that, I decided to step back and think over again what I wanted these guys to be about. How to organize the episode structures, how to write scripts, that sort of thing. And I settled on this. A brief synopsis of an aircraft's origin, development, usage, and legacy, as I have already been doing, but, and here's the important part, specifically curated to appeal to those who may not know that much about the wide world of aviation, or even history. Here's an example, using the P-51 again. Everyone who's seen a Mustang knows it by sight. That familiar bubble canopy, squarish wings, the sleek silvery fuselage with its blue, red, or yellow nose. But most people who aren't massive aviation/history buffs probably look at it and go, cool fighter plane. with maybe a few being able to say, this plane escorted B-17s over Germany in World War II. What I want to do is expand their base level knowledge and provide tidbits of information to make them go, what is X? And research for themselves. Because if I try to explain it, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from ending up with a 1-hour script per episode. And I don't have nearly the time I wished to make 1-hour-long episodes per plane. That's also confounded by the fact that many people on YouTube have already gone into long-depth explanations about X or Y, and I see no real reason for me to do that same work again when somebody else already has. So, I figured it'd be better if I simply just introduce topics or frame them in such a way that they provoke a question in somebody's mind as they watch. Like, what is laminar flow? And then they can go search it up, because laminar flow, from an aeronautical engineering standpoint, is really frickin' cool. But to the average Joe watching, it's just technobabble. So, now that I've covered that, what will I be doing for my future videos that you can expect to see and actually, perceive? 1. No more music. It is too much of a hassle trying to find something that won't get immediately copyright claimed, and it causes too many issues during editing, as many people have pointed out, with music drowning out my voice or becoming inordinately loud despite my best efforts. I am no god of the machine. 2. Period film footage is sadly no more. As much as I loved the idea of being able to create a video out of exclusively taken at the time footage, it is damn near impossible to find sometimes, and all the good ones are restricted to me by royalties, because I am a going-into-college student that just loves history. I am no, actual historian aficionado. If you think that I'm like an actual historian and a trustworthy source, please reevaluate, because I am very much not. I am a fan. I am a historical enthusiast. However, getting back to the point, I will not be making this series just still images with my voice a la Drakenifil, as this series was originally based on. I will, as is able to me, try to use flight sims to get footage for videos and substitute still images for where I can't. So if I'm going over an aircraft's, specific involvement in a battle, say the Spitfire's involvement in the Battle of Britain, I'll try and use a flight sim to show some accurate, as much as possible, aerial engagement from that. Get much more fun when we get to the modern era with DCS. Alright, 3. Reworks of the Devastator, Mustang, Spitfire, and Hurricanes will be done to conform more with what I want for 5-minute guides to aircraft. The current videos will be moved over to an archival playlist on the dedicated YouTube channel, and left for those curious about where this series got its start. Oh, right, the YouTube channel. In order to not confuse people on what my main channel is about, what was the odd school project I post every now and then to it, I have made a secondary channel dedicated to 5-minute guides to aircraft, called The Aerodrome, which was actually what I was originally going to call this series. A link to it shall be in the description. And lastly, 4. In order to show that I am not dead, I will be making short update videos at the end of each month, or as close as possible, given circumstances, to keep you updated as well as warn of any possible delays or reasons for lack of episodes, because, again, I do have college coming up, and that's going to be a lot of work on my end. Alright, that is enough of me talking. Have a pleasant day, and apologies for making you all wait for so long.